Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Kieran. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I like to help people using a spiritual perspective, really help people guide them through their spiritual awakening. Okay, and also mess up intros by speaking in vague, half English sentences. All right. So today I wanted to talk about twin flames and how to tell if they are your twin flame or if you actually have a twin flame. Right now, I'm gonna probably give you guys about 5 signs, I think, that are really going to help you guys understand whether or not you're actually in a twin flame relationship. Okay, now I'm going to be delving into the details of whether or not this really is a twin flame relationship according to each sign that I list. However, I could talk about this subject for so many, I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. You know what I mean? Like, presumably, the amount of time that could be spent of me talking about this subject is the amount of time that, the Cookie Monster could be spent talking about cookies, right? That guy loves cookies, right? So, that's what he knows. So I think we should just get started and go right into it, right? Okay, so the first sign of whether or not somebody is your twin flame, and the reason I put this as number 1 is because this is the first thing that happens. Intense, immediate attraction. Okay? Unexplainable, right? Now, when you see your twin flame for the first time, you feel like you know them. Now, you might not have the wherewithal to understand that it's from a past life. You might not even understand the concept of twin flames when you first meet them, okay? I didn't understand what a twin flame was when I first met mine. Never even heard of the name, okay? Maybe, possibly, I think I thought it was something from an anime, okay? I had no idea what it was. So, there's this attraction. It's very deep, and and it can be, and it can't really be explained by logic. It's just that there's something that clicks about them, in which the more that you would look at their face, the more that it feels like something resembles some type of image of, and I don't want to say perfection, though there is, of course, that type of element that goes along with this relationship. That type of idea, that idealism and stuff, the romanticism. But it's more like this perfect the way that they are, more in that the way that they look, the more that you look at them, the more that it transfixes you, right? The more that it becomes this beautiful type of, a picture that you can't take your eyes off of, right? And it really locks you, right? Kind of like Medusa, right? You look at them and it turns you to stone type of thing. You just can't make sense of it, right? It's because of that soul recognition where you recognize the soul within them. But of course, with your eyes in the 3D, you're just looking at their face and whatever else they got going on, right? Breasts, chest, pecs, ass, biceps, eyes, whatever, right? You just see that stuff. But on an intuitive level, you're recognizing their soul. So there is that soul recognition that can't really be explained logically, that really draws you into them, right? The first time you see them, something about them really catches you, catches your eye. And the more that you go along on the journey, and the more that you look at them, and the more that you spend time with them, the more that you communicate with them, the more that that there's just something about them that can't be explained, right? Something that's absolutely, it's just magical, right? Now, magic can be dangerous, but it is magical, right? It is something that can't be explained. It's just a universal type of an attraction that goes beyond the sexual, though of course there is an unexplainable sexual connection, and it goes beyond, mental, different backgrounds. None of that stuff matters. It's just you look at them and you go, holy shit, right? Now, when I first saw Cadbury cream eggs, I very much had the same feeling when I first saw my twin. I love chocolate, okay? I just want you guys to really know that. All right, so let's move on to number 2. Synchronicity, right? Synchronicity, coincidences. There's no really such thing as coincidence, but you can choose to see it as a coincidence as long as you understand that coincidence is happening for a reason, right? So in that sense, there's no such thing as coincidences. Sure, great. It's all perspective. Who cares? Not me. So again, synchronicities, these are the little things, the things that pile up. Just as you might be seeing angel numbers a lot in this journey, I see 555, 111, 333 a lot. I also see a lot of 9s. 9's a really important number in my life. Even my birthday, 9/19/93. Okay, all 9s. Favorite number is 9, always has been, right? So with little synchronicities like that, now you might show up to, you see them and it just so happens they're there. You walk, you bump into them, or you know, you think about them, they're online, they do this, you know, there's always like, it always, one action leads to another action, you know, their action, and it's like this mirroring type of thing. So many times in this journey, you do things, and the universe supports you with these types of universal signs. You see their name everywhere, for example. It's a really common one. You know, you see special things that have to do with them that only you personally would recognize, right? So this is beyond angel numbers. This is something like even beyond their name, okay? Now, I'm trying to think of a way to explain this from my perspective without giving too much away, but because, you know, it's mine. I like to keep it for me, greedy. But I do understand what my soul name is, and I do understand the soul name of my twin flame. Now, on this journey, I have seen both of those names in numerous ways, numerous times, just because, you know, I happen to look this way. Oh, shit, there it is. Look out the window, past the street, there it is, okay? Something that is just for me. Okay, now you would have your own version of that, okay? It could be a word, a place, whatever it is. It's something that only connects you to the twin flame relationship, okay? It's something, right? Little synchronicities like that, and of course the ones where the communication, you think about them, they're thinking about you at the same time. You know, the things that you might be sharing that you both are thinking about while you're looking at communicating to each other, you possibly have the same thing on your mind at the same exact time, right? There's been times where I've, you know, just happened to get out of my car and my twin was walking into work, that's where I met her, right, at work. I didn't work there. She worked at a gym. I went to the gym, so I went. What is that? I didn't work at a gym. I went there and stared at her in the reflection of the cardio machine. That's creepy, right? Should I have left that part out? If only I knew how to edit. Oh well, I don't. So anyway, little synchronicities, right? Those things, they add up, they build up, and I don't mean just one or two. They keep going, right? They're consistent. That's the whole point of a synchronicity, is there's more than one, and no matter how long you've been on the journey, you still see them. And when you think that you can slip away and, oh, nope, I'm not a twin flame, bam, you get a synchronicity. It's almost like the universe never lets you forget them, okay? And that's really the most important thing you could probably get from number 2 here, is that the universe really supports you in remembering who they are, because they are part of you, okay? I also apologize for chewing gum. Kind of makes me look like a douchebag. But I like gum. I'm going like a fasting thing, so when I do that, I chew gum to like occupy my mouth and my time. Okay, so number 3, triggering. Okay, this is the push pull, not push pill. Though there might be some pills involved to deal with all the fucking triggering. But this would be about the separation, the fears that come up after I met my twin. A lot of stuff came up. Okay, I thought that I was confident divine masculine when I met my twin. Not that I understood what that was, but you know, I thought that I was confident. Turns out I was kind of just impotent. You know what I mean? In that, not in the sexual way, but in the confidence way. Okay, a lot of toxic masculinity, it masks itself as confidence, but really it's just men that are insecure. Okay, and I have no problem admitting that I had insecurity issues. I am the divine feminine after all in that type of dynamic. I don't really care. At this point, who gives a shit? Okay, so no problem in admitting that to you guys. Everybody has them. So, you know, I just happen to wear a mask about mine. And my twin really exposed me. Okay, there is that level of exposition. I don't know if that's the right word, but there is that level of, you know, exposing the deepest parts of you, and they trigger you, right? Things they do always trigger you, right? Always, you know, the things that they do. I'm going to share something really quick with you guys, and I don't want you guys to feel too sorry for me. I've already punched a hole in my wall, or my door wall / thing. Don't tell the people I'm writing from. But I'm going to have to deal with that when it comes to it. My twin got engaged to her karmic the other day, okay? Like 2 or 3 days ago, I found that out. Now, that really hurt me. You know, of course, that triggered me, right? That was a trigger within me that really helped me expand my consciousness a lot. Because when that moment happened, I was in so much pain so quickly and with such anger that, you know, I lost control. And then as soon as it was all expressed, I really came back down to earth and was like almost immediately grounded. I was like, shit, I can't be doing this anymore. And I pretty much overnight immediately changed my direction in life. Like, I mean immediately. Like, and I manifested it immediately. Like, I just snapped, like, internally. Like, I was done. I couldn't do it. I can't, you know what I mean? And so, because there's nothing you can do at that point when you find yourself in those types of circumstances. Because of that triggering, it triggers you until you really realize what it is that you can do about the situation, which is almost nothing except take care of yourself, right? You can't force them to be with you. And that's where that triggering comes from, right? All that triggering is triggering these elements of codependency within you that are from childhood, from past lives, from the natural way of wanting to be with them, from society, media, other people, past relationships in this life, all those types of things, right? And ultimately, what the twin flame will do to you is it'll trigger those old wounds, and through the events and the actions that they choose, or the things that they say, right? My twin flame's words never match their actions, right? Always very cold, standoffish, but in the 3D, you know, that was just communication online, but in 3D, very different actions throughout the relationship, very different, right? Because what they do is they trigger you. They trigger the different parts of you, right? Things that you don't even understand. And there's a lot of that, and all of that really has to get exposed and triggered before you can really start to heal it, right? And so it does force you to really go through this process of where you have all these painful moments that are going on within your own life that you can't really do anything about until you just snap, right? So again, back to me just briefly. I know you don't really care that much, but there is an element of, or when I found out that news, that you know, there's nothing I can really do anymore except really truly delve into my own spirituality and really love myself and just do what I can, right? Because there is nothing that I can do. So again, immediately, I've been wanting to go back to school. I don't like school, college. I mean, I'm not 16. I don't like college and stuff because I think education is kind of a waste of money, the way that it's set up in America anyway. I don't mean like growing intellectually is a waste at all, and that's not what I mean. I just mean the American education system, in my opinion, is pretty, what's the word? It's a polite way of saying it. Shitty? Yeah, shitty. Shitty. It sucks, okay? It sucks. It sucks a lot. So, when I went there, I tried so many different majors, but it had nothing to do with anything that I wanted. I should have been doing classes like wine tasting, but I wasn't, right? I was taking like math and world history. I mean, I like history, but all these classes, nothing to do with what I wanted to do, right? Now that I have passions in music and writing, and of course doing stuff like this, though I don't think they have an intro to tarot class on or YouTube channel and stuff like that in college, but they do offer music production classes. Okay, now I wanted to go back there and do that, and you know, I wasn't really taking any action to do that. And as soon as I found out that news, I like flipped. I immediately went in, booked a whole bunch of classes. It turns out, even though like class starts in like a week or two or the 10 days, something like that, all the classes that I needed were still available. They're the government giving me free money so I can just take it, and this time not use it on cocaine, right? Good for me. Use it actually, you know, on my health or my business, things like that, right? Get a new laptop instead of the tablet that I have, buy new better music equipment, etc., 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 right? I'm starting a business with a friend. These types of things, okay? So I really changed direction after hearing that type of news, and that's what triggering does, right? I don't mention all of this stuff to just talk about myself for a little bit. There's a little bit of element of that, of course, but mostly to help you understand that the triggering is there for you to grow, okay? And that it is super painful because because without the pain, you really wouldn't feel a need to grow, okay? And that's really what the triggering is basically saying why your twin flame does this, right? Your twin flame does force you to grow because the pain and the love that you feel for them is so deep that you actually do have to let them go, right? This relationship teaches you about letting go because you can't, because the pain is so much and so deep and the triggering is so profound that when you see them and when you communicate with them and when they're not, in communication with you, the separation, the confusion, all of that stuff that goes on, all the pain, you look at it and you become aware of it and you realize that you can never get out of it. Ever. You can never get out of it unless something changes. And initially what you do is you try to change the outside circumstances. It's a natural just impulse. You think, okay, things aren't right, let me change the outside. That will fix the situation. I tried to do that, doesn't work. And then I'm really understanding, and I have been for the past couple of months, that what needs to change first is the inside. And that's, real change happens on the inside. You really do have to realize that oh, I have to change and transcend all of this pain, transmute the triggering so that I'm healthy and balanced. Because that's the only way that this pain is going to stop. And that's what the triggering is there for. It's not there for you to consistently suffer and be in pain. Obviously, there's going to be some element of that, but I believe it was the Buddha, or maybe Hitler, I don't know which one who said this, but they said that true suffering is necessary until it isn't. Okay? So keep that in mind. It's probably Hitler. So, number 4, and this one's super important, guys, and this is going to be the really, really important that you understand this, because this might save you from being in a karmic relationship, okay? Karmic. I said karmic twice. I didn't mean to. I fucked that up. No, okay? Kundalini awakening. That's what I meant to say, all right? Kundalini awakening happens energetically, okay? Now, I don't necessarily mean this as a spiritual awakening, though absolutely take that into consideration. If you've become more spiritual after meeting a singular person, and they've, like, you know, after my twin, I learned my soul name, okay? That's an indication that my twin flame, okay? Now, what I mean by Kundalini energy awakening is this, and I'm going to give you an example in my life that is going to directly help you, okay? Now, don't take my example directly, okay? Like, it's not going to be the same experience, but it is going to be a general type of experience that you can look at and go, oh, okay, something similar happened, okay? So, shortly after I met my twin flame, and this was drug-induced, marijuana, okay? Plant medicine type of thing, right? And what happened to me was, and this was after I learned my soul name, which I had done just through pure meditation, I had this type of awakening within me where my body literally shook energetically, okay? And I mean, on the inside, it was like my whole being, my whole soul was vibrating. It was like a reverb, okay? It was almost like when you pluck a guitar string or something, you know? You pluck it a little bit and it does that whole shaky thing, right? That's what it felt like. It felt like the entire being of myself was just going like this a lot. And like on the inside, and I checked, my physical body wasn't moving. It wasn't like a seizure or anything. It was just pure vibration, okay? My consciousness, my actual mind, right? The thoughts inside of my head, that melted back. It melted back, and I remember that the last thought that I had during that moment was, I'm not ready to go yet, right? Like death, right? Like, I'm not ready. There's still things I have to do. Okay. But my mind, my ego mind, went away. It just fucked off for a couple, for that whole moment. It was like something snapped. It was so brief that it was kind of like ego death. And then there was just consciousness. There was just pure consciousness. And the way that I can describe that, honestly, was like, was being completely removed of any obstacle, right? It was like everything inside of my head was clear completely. And I don't mean that I became some kind of master. I'm still here. I'm live from the gutter, people. All right. I haven't manifested everything that I need in my life. However, at that moment, I was very much in pure bliss. And I did exist in that state for about a day. And then I had to go back to my job at Pizza Hut at the time, making pizzas for fat, overweight people. That was not fun, okay? So, I was still in the 3D world, still in my karma, okay? But for that, after meeting my twin, I had that energy awakening within me. The chakra systems, basically, awakening. The levels of my spirituality opening up, everything, heart chakra, throat chakra. After that, things really, really started to change. And shortly after that, I started a lot of spiritual journeying and doing things. And my mind was basically going crazy. My crown chakra was opening, throat chakra closing. Everything was going crazy, okay? Because my twin had opened up everything that needed to be opened up, including me energetically, right? So again, if you've had a similar experience, this is the sure way of telling if they are your twin flame. Absolutely. There needs to be some type of spiritual process that happens within you, an energetic process, okay? Not just spiritually being spiritually awakened. I was spiritually awakened, all right, before I met my twin flame, okay? After a karmic relationship that I had about 6 months before meeting my twin, or not, it was, 6 months before I had met my twin flame, I was in my car, and I remember coming across a website about narcissism and then soul contracts and then a bunch of just spiritual terms. And suddenly, right up until that point, I was an atheist. And after reading that article, because of the pain that had happened from my previous karmic relationship with the narcissist type of thing, I had basically began a spiritual process. And that night, I really discovered about spirituality, and and things just became. I just started on this journey where naturally, very naturally, I was suddenly spiritually awakened. And then, of course, the dark night, you meet your twin, and more ascension, that type of stuff, right? Because that type of stuff happens. But, excuse me. Anyway, that type of stuff indicates a type of energetic advancement. Okay, when you meet your twin, there is an element of becoming more. Opening up these energy fields within you, this Kundalini energy, right? It's very plausible that you could be spiritually awakened or spiritually aware before you meet your twin, and then your twin, when you meet them, they actually, expand your consciousness a little bit, okay? Or they begin that process, right? You're not going to meet your twin and then suddenly be like, oh, everything's fixed. Obviously not. The relationship is a journey, right? So, and a painful one, obviously, right? You can ask the hole in my door. So, keep that in mind, guys. It doesn't have to be the same exact experience as me. Something similar, okay? Whether or not you understand it, look back at it. I didn't think that was a real sign until like 4 or 5 months ago when I came across somebody who was really, really telling me about how this is a sure sign of something. And then I did my own research. I realized that, oh shit, this is actually a thing that happens. And I was like, damn, I actually experienced the sign of twin flame relationship. That really cleared up any confusion for me whether or not this person was my twin flame. And now I'm at a very different level now. Now I'm like, God, I wish I wasn't a twin flame. A little bit, of course, but anyway, I'm not going to get into that. So that was number 4, okay, guys? Keep that in mind. Kundalini energy awakening, some type of spiritual advancement, right? And number 5, and this almost might be tied for number 4, is meditation intuition, okay? No matter who you pay money to, I don't care how much money you're paying or what you're doing for somebody. I don't care, okay? Nobody can tell you who your twin flame is or isn't. Nobody, okay? Except for you, because that's your information. It's your life. There's nobody else on this planet that can tell you that. And it's meant to be that way because it's your intuition. It's your knowledge. It's your truth, okay? It's your truth. So you need to understand that, because somebody else tells you something, even if it resonates, even if it's me, ultimately, at the end of the day, if I'm giving your cup water, for the sake of the analogy, and I'm filling your cup up with some type of water, but your cup is empty, eventually you drink from that cup, you drink my knowledge. This is getting weird, but you drink my knowledge, and you're drinking that type of wisdom and that nourishment that you need in that moment, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm nervous, I better watch this guy's video and get this information, and now I'll feel better. Okay, but then what happens when that's over? What happens when you drank that? Now you just have an empty cup. Now you got to come back to me, watch the same video, watch other videos by me, watch other YouTubers talk, do tarot readings, psychic things on your phone. You got to do a whole bunch of shit. Trust me, I've been through it. It drives you nuts. And the reason, that's why it is that confusing, because it forces you, literally forces you, as if your angels and your guides are with you, pushing you to go within, because that's all that's left. Eventually, you do get to a point where all you have left is you, and that's when the process really begins. The self-love process is when you really look at the internal process within, and you understand that, oh shit, like I really am here, like this is me, and I better figure out what is really me. This relationship, what has it done to me? Is it worth waiting for? Where am I on this journey? What's going on with me? How can I move forward? How can I get rid of this pain? You start actually asking yourself questions as if you're having an internal dialogue. You set up an introspective dialogue as if you are actually talking to yourself. And this is interesting. Something that I used to do throughout most of my teenage life is I used to have like this version of myself inside of my head that I would talk to. It sounds like I have schizophrenia, but what I mean is that I would like have this other version inside of my mind of like me, same hair, same face, same whatever's going on, still scruff, right? I guess I didn't shave my head either. But the idea is that I just had this other version of me, but this version wasn't weak or insecure or unwise. He was always me, but like an advanced version, right? It was like talking to an older version of me. And I've really started to get back into that visualization process. okay? Because the twin flame does shake up everything about your life, but eventually you put the pieces back together of what's really authentic, right? So, you need to form that internal dialogue with yourself, because you're the only person in this entire planet who can actually tell you whether or not you're in a twin flame relationship. And in order to do that, you need to meditate. You need to, or at least spend some time with yourself, okay? The meditation, you can do meditation however you want, trust me. I do yoga and I use affirmations and a type of meditation introspection when I'm doing it, because meditation is so goddamn boring, okay? It's boring as shit. It's as stupid as it's so, who cares, right? And I often have that opinion of meditation, but when I can make a meditation more fun, or when I'm inspired to do it, it's usually because I'm not scared of the answer, or because I'm excited to find the truth out, or I'm just, whatever. I want to get some clear-headed. Like, I'm really ready to do the work, so let's do the meditation that's kind of interesting, right? So there's little stuff of doing that, there's other types of ways of really just getting within yourself, and it's just about following your intuition, listening to that intuition, okay? Because again, that's the only person who's ever going to be able to tell you. And that it's so scary and so frustrating, because you do constantly want someone else to tell you that, but it would never be satisfying. Okay? Ever. Even if I had all the answers and I knew that your twin flame was your twin flame, it would still never mean anything if I told you, yeah, guess what, you're in a twin flame relationship, because you would never truly believe me, because there's always going to be that doubt unless you go within yourself and really look at the relationship and go, oh, okay, I get it now. I'm in a twin flame relationship. And when you really do confirm whether or not you're in a twin flame relationship within yourself, you at the same time confirm who you are, right? You really start to look and go, I don't need this, actually, right? Because the most rewarding and empowering thing about a twin flame relationship, and what it is ultimately always going to teach you, I say this again and again, even to myself, and this is absolutely for myself right now, is self-love. Always and forever teaching you that you do not need anybody to be complete. You're fine on your own. Everything in your life has, up until this point, told you that you absolutely do need somebody else to be happy, and that you definitely need your twin flame. But the answer is that you don't, and that you're actually perfectly good enough, okay? And I definitely, you don't have to believe me, don't take my word for it, okay? But know that it's true, and tell yourself that, because your divine masculine is not going to be able to make you as happy as you can make you, okay? They can only add to your cup, and, you need to start with some water in your cup before they can give it to you, okay? But again, just to summarize, okay, intense attraction, unexplainable, the synchronicities, that type of thing, okay? The triggering, the push-pull, the cycles, right? Again, the Kundalini energy awakening, type of spiritual expansion, consciousness type of thing. And then the meditation, intuition, right? Relying on your own intuition and self to realize whether or not they're truly your twin, okay? So anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. Just by the way, I'm still doing free tarot readings for tonight. But after tonight, I'm going to start charging them. I'm going to start charging for my readings and stuff. The prices are in the About section. I'm going to be leaving a link underneath in this description box, underneath this video. The prices are very fair. At least I think they are. They might not be, but I'm pretty sure they are. Okay. All right, guys. I will talk to you when I talk to you. Unless I die, in which case I won't. All right, guys. See ya.